3-0 lead after 3. JP! Deep to right! Goodbye! JP Crawford! And the Mariners have an 8-7 lead!
JP Crawford is an absolute stud, and he saved the Mariners. And what a game that absolutely was. And wow, that game was nothing but an absolute heart attack. And before I get into this video, please hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, as it definitely would help the algorithm of this channel. Definitely want to keep this growing. And why should you follow my channel is I do provide these post-game updates, which I'm committed to do every single game, including the Seahawks as well when that season starts, and also doing these live shows so I can provide my personality rather than the mainstream personality. So that's something I'm looking forward to do. So let's get into it. So the Mariners narrowly won 8-7 on another nail biter, as if the Mariners just keep getting themselves into this situation. And let's get right to it on how this even happened. So it was Luis Castillo pitching today versus, man, what was his name? This is why I have my phone with me on this one. It was Peterson, and he did not pitch well at all. But anyways, let's see how it all started. First, it started with a Teoscar Hernandez home run to center field to put the team up 1-0. Then it was Julio Rodriguez with a triple, and I said in the live game that it was like a double. So, but it was a triple. And then Teoscar Hernandez, he singled to right center field, and Julio Rodriguez would score, and that would make it 3-0. And then, unfortunately, immediately after that, almost in the next inning, got DJ Stewart homering to center field. Daniel Vogelbach scored, and Pete Alonso also scored. So that made it 3-3. But shortly after, Teoscar Hernandez responded with a nice sacrifice fly to DJ Stewart, where JP Crawford did score. And I believe that was the one where he got hit by the pitch, and that did take Peterson out of the game. And then in the sixth inning, Dominic Canzone extended the lead, and he was pinch hitting for the struggling Dylan Moore. And he hit the home run to right field, and that was just barely fair. And that was also after Ty France had to leave the game because he got hit by the pitch. But that home run barely got there. It was so close. It really should have been foul. And then eventually Sam Haggerty scored on an error. And what happened was, I remember Sam Haggerty, he walked, and then Jose Caballero, he did like a little trick thing that I really liked. I thought it was cool. I think he was on 2 strikes, and the pitch was a ball, and he noticed that Haggerty was going to steal, so he just purposefully just swung and missed to trick the guy. So he stole second base, and then Sam Haggerty scored third, went to third base, and eventually scored. Then Julio Rodriguez, he reached on an error, scoring Sam Haggerty with a throwing error. So Mariners were up 7-3 at that point, but then unfortunately, Mark Vientos in the bottom of the sixth inning hit a home run, which made it his 4th home run of the season. Why do I even care to say that? So that made it 7-4, and this is where I was getting a little bit nervous. And then Francisco Lindor, and at that point, this was when Luis Castillo was taken out, and he did not have his best game. He gave up 5 earned runs with 2 strikeouts and 2 walks. And then they brought in Gabe Spire. He didn't really do much better. And let me see how many pitches. He had 89 pitches, but at that point he struggled. So I guess I couldn't blame Scott Service for pulling him out at that moment. But that was where it was up to the bullpen to do something. But bullpen failed miserably today. Gabe Spire gave up that 2-run home run to Francisco Lindor. And then eventually Jeff McNeil tripled to third base. And then Francisco Lindor scored that one, tying the game at 7-7. But then eventually, immediately in the top of the 9th inning, and I was sadly not there because hashtag don't quit your day job, JP Crawford hit his 14th home run of the season, making it more than his career high. And that would help the Mariners secure the win. And for the final inning, it was Justin Topa who came in. Or Justin Topa was already pitching at that point, but he got the team to win. Topa got the win, so there was no save on that situation. So the Mariners did win, fortunately. Now, the winning doesn't really matter until I go to the rest of the league and see what happened. So the next thing that happened, the New York Yankees, the enemy of the enemy is your friend, and they beat the Houston Astros 5-4. And then other things that happened around the league in extra innings, the Minnesota Twins beat the Texas Rangers in Texas, making it 9-7. And then the Colorado Rockies surprisingly beat the Toronto Blue Jays 8-7. And I mean, Boston won, but they're pretty much out of it at this point. Who knows? Maybe, maybe not. So in the division now, Mariners now own a 1-game lead on the Houston Astros, and they lead 2 games on the Texas Rangers. And then when you go to the wild card, let's see how behind Toronto really is. Toronto is now just 1 game back, so it's still a very tight race. So the Mariners really got to finish the job on Sunday. They've got to win tomorrow. You cannot go into Cincinnati against a tougher team where they are going to make it tough. So the Mariners have got to take care of business and win that game tomorrow, where the Mariners do have George Kirby, so they do have a great opportunity. Who knows if his little flu or something is going to ruin it for him, but we'll have to see. He's now 10-8 with a 3.28 ERA, and hopefully he will step up and get the job done. And hopefully this offense can just keep it going too, because Julio Rodriguez has been playing great ever since he came back from injury. J.P. Crawford has been absolutely unbelievable, and Teoscar Hernandez was also just amazing today as well. So a lot of team effort things that did happen. It did happen where the team scored. But here's my thing. I know this is going to be met with very unpopular opinions on some, but I'm very concerned about the bullpen. And why am I concerned about the bullpen? It is just strictly because of these high leverage situations. You saw yesterday that Andres Munoz, he melted down. Now, granted, that was a Scott Service bonehead decision that shouldn't have happened. And then after that, today, where the Mariners bullpen pretty much blew a 7-3 lead, and they had to play comeback on that one. So that was very concerning. Now, I know they have like a top 5 bullpen in the league, but when it comes to these high leverage situations, that's where I definitely do feel a little bit of cause of concern, because yes, they were like pretty much lights out with the exception of a couple games. But then when you get into the fact, after Cincinnati, you're going up against Tampa Bay. The other maybe easy teams you're playing are the Angels and the A's, and I don't think those will be easy. Then you got Texas and like Houston for your last 10 games. Like, these are going to be tough. This is going to be a real challenge for the bullpen, and they have got to step up and like stop with these heart attack moments, because I think this is where the Paul Sewald trade is starting to feel a little bit missed. But, you know, Dominic Canzone hit a home run, so what am I to say? But there's going to be critical times where Paul Sewald could have been used, and that's where I'm feeling a little bit nervous going forward with this bullpen. Like I kept saying, the offense wasn't necessarily the problem, although they did leave a lot of men on base, but they do have the talent and the personnel. I just don't think the bullpen necessarily has the personnel. They don't really, the talent is there, no question, but I just don't think they have the mental aspect, which is something you really can't measure, to handle these kind of clutch situations. Just like if we're going to make the playoffs, the biggest key, one of the biggest keys to winning the World Series is to have a solid bullpen. It's something that plagued the Mariners back in the 90s, back in 97, where they had a record-breaking offense, but they couldn't get it done because of their awful bullpen. So much of their offense was extremely negated by their incompetent bullpen. But at this point, I've said enough. But those are my thoughts on this game. Let me know how you felt from this game. Leave it in the comments. And once again, I'm at 695 subscribers. Get me over to 700, as I am still working to grow this channel. And what am I going to bring to the table? I'll bring you my live games, my every game updates on the Mariners. You'll see those highlights that I put myself and the footage of the game there, as long as copyright doesn't get in the way. And also collaboration with the Jay Trident podcast. So stay tuned, hit that subscribe button, and thanks for watching. And let's hope the Mariners get it done tomorrow with the win.